गुड इवनिंग। सो शुरू करें प्रवचन शुरू। चलो बढ़िया है। So yesterday we are discussing about the relationship between sociology and psychology. While discussing the relationship between the both, I told you that psychology is concerned with the study of individual mind. ठीक है? And sociology deals with the study of collective behavior. ठीक है? Caste behavior, communal behavior, behavior. We give importance on behavior of the people who are a part of bureaucracy. Also, we study social institutions. Okay? We study social structure. We also study social change. Therefore, subject matter of psychology is individual mind, individual consciousness, and subject matter of sociology is organized group behavior, social institution, social processes, social problem, and social change. Therefore, we are poles apart. Okay? We are different from each other. Then I discussed with you to tell that there are many branches of psychology which have nothing to do with sociology. And these branches of psychology are clinical psychology, experimental psychology, understand not? Theoretical psychology. We are just close to one branch of psychology that is known as social psychology. Okay? Similarly, we have many branches of sociology. They have nothing to do with psychology. Like agrarian sociology, urban sociology. We have sociology of media. So that's nothing to do with psychology. Okay? Then I discussed with you that when sociology evolved as a discipline, the founding fathers of sociology like Auguste Comte, Emile Durkheim, they advocated that subject matter of sociology is social fact. पढ़ा था ये? Yes or no? But the subject matter of psychology is the study of what? Individual behavior. Therefore, sociology is poles apart from psychology. कुछ एग्जाम्पल भी दिया था. एक चीज बताओ. Eating is what? Eating. Eating is what? You are hungry, therefore you are eating. So eating is a biological need. Very good. Okay? I saw somebody, taking a chocolate, okay, just before the class. So when you are taking a chocolate because you like it, that is what? Eating something because it gives you psychic satisfaction, psychological. But in South India, you see, when people are eating, they're sitting on a floor. Food is offered to them in a banana leaf. Small, primarily what kotoris are carrying different kinds of what? Eatable items. And happily people are cherishing it. So the way you are taking food, that is primarily influenced by what? Culture. So culture influence to our food behavior. There is a strong connectivity between our culture and our food. Chole bhature, favorite of Punjab. Uttapam dosa, favorite of South India. Therefore, every culture gives you a different kind of cuisine. So therefore, the way people eat food, the food that is favorite to the people, are the product of culture. Sociology should study, understand, not what one is eating. Sociology should study eating behavior of the people. A food that people eat because it is prescriptive by their culture. That is social fact. Understanding or not? So therefore it is clear, very much clear, to distinguish between social fact and individual act. Individual act is different from social fact. Therefore psychology is different from sociology. कौन बोला? Durkheim. But the problem is, can we really think about a society without giving credence to individuals? So here comes the debate. Psychology studies individual minds and sociology studies collective behavior. Collectivity comes out of what? You are a collectivity sitting in front of me. If all of you as individuals choose not to sit, then this class is not possible. समझ में आ रहा है कि नहीं आ रहा है? So therefore in sociology there are two kinds of arguments. One tells society is already present before your birth. And once you are born into that society, you follow the customs, norms of that society. Therefore, individual is born into a society, following the culture and norms of the society. And his behavior is guided by the direction given to him or her by the society. Therefore, individual is not important. Okay? What you do, that you do because your family, your religion, your culture, your society want you to do that. Therefore, this group of people will say, one marries not that one wants to marry, one is marrying because society wants you to marry. समझ में आ रहा है कि नहीं आ रहा है? Therefore, what man does, that man does because society wants him to do it. ठीक है? So therefore, every individual is always conforming to the will, the guidelines, the rules, the prescriptions of society. Second group of people say that individual makes society. ठीक है? So unless until individuals are coming together, deciding to live together, family is not possible. सपना कितना दिन हो गया सोशियोलॉजी को तुम्हारा? सोशियोलॉजी cannot prove anything right and anything wrong. Sociology is always telling, तुमको day one में बताया था, you cannot explain everything in terms of black and white. There is a possibility of gray. ठीक है? सो इंजीनियरिंग बुद्धि छोड़ो, अभी जो सोशियोलॉजी बता रहा हूं इसको देखो. Sociologists look at the same thing from different perspective. Every reality is studied from multiple perspective. इसको बोल देता हूं एक आउट ऑफ कॉन्टेक्स्ट, बस मैं इसको क्वेश्चन आया इसलिए बता रहा हूं. इफ यू सो, ठीक है, और इफ यू प्राइमरली study a family from feminist perspective, a feminist will say family is a place where women are exploited by men. If you show this family to a Marxist, he will say family is giving education to children, motivation to children, so that when they grow up in life, they will be working in the industry. Understanding or not? So from Marxist perspective, family is different. If you ask a functionalist what is family, so functionalist will be saying family is functional to state. Because family is asking people to primarily cast vote in favor of a person. Family is functional to religion because family tells people to visit temples. Therefore, family is functional to school, because unless family is sending children, school will be empty. Therefore, you have a school because you have a family. You have religion because you have family. You have industry because you have family. You have government because you have family. So therefore, you cannot say family is consisting of a father, mother, brother, sister, son, daughter. Yeah. So we look at family from different perspective. But in engineering, you can say that a building is made out of steel, made out of cement, made out of sand, and labor is attached to it. Full stop. This is truth. Therefore, sociology explains truth in different ways. Therefore, any topic you do in sociology, there is an argument. समझ में आ रहा है कि नहीं रहा है? तो इसीलिए सर आगे चलो, कोई राइट नहीं है, रॉन्ग नहीं है, दे जस्ट गिव यू नॉलेज. ठीक है, चल आगे बढ़ो. So, if you look into the viewpoint of the other people, they say individuals are important. These individuals combined together make something possible. Therefore, family, school, religious group, everything is the product of individuals coming together. Therefore, individual is primarily foundation to social life. C. Wright Mills करके एक आदमी है, he gives importance on individual. And he tells there is nothing social because everything is individual. Individual 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 make family. 1.3 billion population make India. Therefore, people make society, people make families, people make religious organizations. So nothing is social. ये एक डिबेट रहा. ये चिकन एग वाला जो डिबेट है, व्हाट इज प्राइमरी, सोसाइटी इज प्राइमरी और इंडिविजुअल इज प्राइमरी. ठीक है. To resolve the dispute between these two schools, I'll be holding a position. Both exist. Society exists and individuals also exist. Okay? We cannot study society independent to individuals. And at the same time, individual on his own cannot make a society. इसको तो ध्यान से सुनो. Individual on his own cannot make a society. And society is not possible without individual. Okay? If I want corruption to be wiped out from India, will it be possible? Look at one interesting example. Gautam Buddha wanted untouchability to go. Chaitanya wanted untouchability to go. Nanak Dev Ji wanted untouchability to go. Gandhi Ji wanted, Dr. Ambedkar wanted, everybody wanted untouchability to go, caste to go. But caste is still present in Indian society. Therefore, our individual opinions, likes and dislikes are not greatly responsible for something to disappear from society. Therefore, something is present definitely external to all of us. Therefore, there is called as something social present, external to us. But at the same time also it is true. If all of us are not there, society cannot exist in vacuum. Okay, both are important. So here I'll be making one statement. We can do sociology without psychology. Without studying individual mind, we can do sociology. But we can do a better sociology looking into individual mind. We can do sociology without individual mind, without psychology. But if we take psychology into consideration, we can make a better sociology. So what is wrong? If we make a better sociology than going for a mechanistic sociology. So it's always better to go for a better sociology than going for just sociology. Okay? So therefore, some sociologists are bringing into their sociological debate, discussion, understand not, certain psychological incidents, certain psychological experiences. Therefore, many sociologists in their sociological analysis are using psychic experience of the people, psychic problems of the people. Understand not? And through their respect for psychology, they make a better sociology. And one example I gave you. Example of Karl Marx. Okay? Karl Marx takes into consideration psychology to make a better sociology than Durkheim. Karl Marx tells, पढ़ा था Karl Marx कि नहीं? Did discuss Karl Marx? Karl Marx tells, in modern capitalist society, ठीक है, people are encountering with a situation where these people are putting their labor and producing something. Therefore, their product, look at a worker. A worker who is putting his effort to make this building cannot live in this building. Therefore, when he is passing through the road and finding out this building once was made by him and other laborers, but he cannot enter into this building, he feels alienated. The way parents feel alienated when they're living in old age homes and children throw them out. So therefore, alienation is an experience that all laborers are primarily carrying in capitalism. Tell me, Marx could have said that workers in capitalism are getting less wage and working for more period of time, more longer period of time. Workers in capitalism are exploited economically. In capitalism, interest of the capitalist is protected by the state. Poor are vulnerable. But by adding this concept of alienation, he is explaining how psychic orientation of the people on working class, how working class is suffering from a psychic issue, psychic problem, psychological problem. If they are poor, you can give them money. If they are homeless, you can give them house. But if psychologically people are not attached to work, understanding not, money cannot compensate for it. Therefore, psychic problem of modern capitalism, Marx explained to give us a better understanding about capitalist mode of production or capitalist system. Therefore, with psychology, we can make a better sociology or not. So looking into psychic experience of the people, we can understand capitalism in a better way. So therefore, Karl Marx is advocating in favor of the fact that psychology and sociology should come close to each other. Though they are not meaning one and same, bringing psychological factors into your discussion of sociology, you can make a better sociology. Karl Marx talks about it. आ गया समझ में? Therefore, psychology is no sociology and vice versa. But getting psychological inferences, we can do better justice to sociological understanding of reality. आया समझ में? Whose position is this? Marx. ठीक है, ये नाम मैं इसलिए दे रहा हूं, आजकल एग्जामिनर बड़ा चालाक हो रहा है. ठीक है, सपोज एक स्पेसिफिक क्वेश्चन कोई पूछ लिया, with reference to Marx and Weber, explain the relationship between sociology and psychology. रट के गए होंगे. Psychology studies individual mind, sociology studies collective behavior, psychology is going for quantitative analysis, sociology is going for qualitative analysis, psychology studies individual, क्या है? हाँ, psychic problem, sociology studies social problem. लेकिन आ गया question, how Weber and Marx, they look at the interface between psychology and sociology. Fuse will blow out. 10 number गया. Therefore, no more. And right answer depending on the demand of the question. If you know less, you'll be forgetting part of it. You'll be getting less content to write the answer. If you know more, even if you forget 50%, 50% information will be sufficient enough to make you through. ठीक है? So इसीलिए once you listen in the class, no question will be coming in the exam which will be finding out difficult. क्लास में सुनने का टाइम डिफिकल्ट लगेगा, बट व्हेन यू गो टू द एग्जाम हॉल एंड रीड द क्वेश्चंस, जंप एंड फील लाइक जंपिंग इनटू द क्वेश्चन, दैट विल बी अ सेलिब्रेशन. तो इसलिए आराम से सुना बैठ के. ठीक है. अरे डेफिनेशन कुछ नहीं देना है. क्या डेफिनेशन बताया? कुछ डेफिनेशन नहीं है. डेफिनेशन मीन्स व्हाट दे स्पीक यू हैव टू राइट इन टोटो. मैं कुछ डेफिनेशन नहीं दे रहा हूं, मैं अपना एक्सप्लेनेशन दे रहा हूं. इफ यू लुक एट मैक्स वेबर, yes, if you look, handouts are already given and rest of the handouts will be uploaded today. ठीक है. If you look at the writings of Max Weber, you'll be finding out Weber tells, देखो कितना ब्यूटीफुल वे में बोलता है, sociology deals with the study of social structures. ठीक है. You have family, you have religion, you have capitalism, you have democracy. So all the structures present in the society are studied by sociologists. ठीक है. Structures are not falling from the sky. ठीक है. Structures are not primarily making appearance from the vacuum. कोई भी स्ट्रक्चर होगा. ठीक है. फैमिली एज ए स्ट्रक्चर, डेमोक्रेसी एज ए स्ट्रक्चर, पॉलिटिकल पार्टी एज ए स्ट्रक्चर, सेंट स्टीफेंस कॉलेज एज ए स्ट्रक्चर, दिल्ली पब्लिक स्कूल एज ए स्ट्रक्चर. Every structure is a product of the action played by the people. ठीक है. So principal is primarily playing his roles or actions. Class teacher is playing his role or her role. Students are playing their role. Class monitor, head boy, head girl playing their roles. Therefore, if you look into the structure of a school, school is nothing but the product of action of different actors. ठीक है. समझ में आ रहा है कि नहीं आ रहा है? So therefore, action is nothing but the bricks which combinedly together make a wall. Like bricks plus bricks plus bricks combined together make a wall. Your action, my action, her action, Rabindranath Sahab's action make what Wajiram is. Therefore, action of the actors joined together make structure. And when you are acting, acting means you are sitting and listening to me. आदित्य का पीछे कितना कलरफुल सारे लगा हुआ है, नोट्स बना रखा है, अंडरलाइन करके इसको करके कलरफुल रेनबो इमेज आ रहा है. सो देयरफॉर व्हेन यू आर प्राइमरली एक्टिंग, ठीक है, योर एक्शन इज ड्रिवन बाय व्हाट? मोटिव्स एंड मूड्स. मूड्स एंड मोटिव्स. ठीक है. अभी इंटरेस्टिंग देखो, यू हैव मोटिव टू क्रैक द एग्जाम, but today you don't have mood to sit in the class because you didn't sleep properly last night, so therefore you are feeling like sleeping now, feeling very sleepy. So motive is there. Motive bolta hai bite, leak, soon. So motive is primarily, telling you to do something, but mood is not primarily supporting to motive. So therefore, sometimes you primarily listen, sometimes you sleep. Again, primarily listen, again you sleep. Chalta hai. And from out of that, a class room situation develops. Structure of class develops. Then mood changes. Coffee aa gaya. Feeling so refreshed. Okay. So Richa is carrying coffee. So you are having a cup of coffee in hand. So now you feel fresh. Once you feel fresh, you feel energetic and focusing attention on lecture. Therefore, what the class was 5 seconds before is not class now, because her behavior has changed. समझ में आ रहा है कि नहीं आ रहा है? So if I give importance on human moods, human motives, I can understand structure better. Therefore, structure is not a product of situation where everybody is conforming to same kind of rules, same kind of norms, same kind of values. Structure is not static. Understanding what I'm telling or not? If I believe that structure is static, it means what? All of you following the rules of primarily what? The institute are sitting in the class, focusing attention on the lecture, and everybody is committed. नहीं है. Your moods are different, motivations are different, situation is different. Situation is different means what? Bolo. Situation is different. Astha is sitting in a very big room, all alone. So she can focus her attention. Someone is sitting with family, sitting in the library. So many students are surrounding you. Even you try to focus your attention, there is disturbance. Situations are different. Therefore, focus of concentration is different. Focus of attention is different. So this is social life. So every individual is primarily influenced by three things I told you. One is moods, second is motive, third is situational condition or the environment. They keep influencing to your action. And the outcome of that action is structure. Therefore, if I respect to psychology, I will see structure as dynamic. If I ignore psychology, I will see structure is like a mountain, fixed. If I believe that structure is fixed, I will say, since structure is fixed, social structure is fixed, like material structure, I can use scientific method. Because something fixed, I can apply scientific method to study it. If I see something is dynamic, I will consider scientific method is not only useless, but more than useless to sociology. Therefore, Weber tells that structures are not fixed. Therefore, social behavior cannot be predicted in a scientific way. समझ में आया? Therefore, Weber respects to human psychology, giving us a better kind of sociology than what Durkheim gives us. Durkheim doesn't believe in psychology. He tells human behavior is fixed, defined by rules of law. People do same kind of act. So therefore, scientific method is possible in sociology. तो तुम लोग बताओ. When we are using primarily what? When we are considering sociology as different from psychology, we are producing a mechanistic sociology or a realistic sociology. When we consider that human behavior is fixed, driven by rules of law, we make a mechanical sociology or we make a realistic sociology, mechanistic sociology. Therefore, with psychology, respecting to psychology, when we study social structure, we make a realistic sociology. ठीक है? Therefore, Weber belongs to which school? दो स्कूल पढ़ाता है स्कोप ऑफ सोशियोलॉजी में. Weber belongs to which school? Formalist school. Durkheim belongs to which school? Synthetic school. Synthetic school considers sociology is a science. Weber tells sociology cannot be a science. They say structure is fixed. This person tells structure is dynamic. So the Weberian understanding of society is a product of his respect for human psychology. Therefore, it is better if psychology and sociology, they join hand with each other. Though it is a matter of fact, psychology is different from sociology. Yes or no? So you primarily go for it. आगे बढ़ो. If you look at the progress of sociology, there are many other sociologists, those who are looking into relevance of psychology in sociological understanding of reality. Okay. One such person who comes to my mind is Robert Morton. नाम सुने हो? नाम सुने हो? मैं गधा था, सिलेबस पढ़ाया था तुमको, सत्यानाश। रॉबर्ट किंग मॉर्टन। ठीक है। मॉर्टन इज यूजिंग टू वर्ड्स व्हिच इंप्रेस मी मोस्ट। ये कोई बुक फुक में नहीं है जो बता रहा हूं तुमको। आई एम इंटीग्रेटिंग एवरीथिंग एंड कंस्ट्रक्चरिंग माई लेक्चर। ये कोई बुक में नहीं होगा। एनी बुक यू रीड, सोशियोलॉजी, साइकोलॉजी, मिलेगा नहीं तुमको। वन इज सेल्फ दो वर्ड यूज किया। वन इज सेल्फ फुलफिलिंग प्रोफेसी एंड इज सेल्फ डिफीटिंग प्रोफेसी। ठीक है। ही इज ए सोशियोलॉजिस्ट and is using these two words. Around 1:30 today, I met the director of the institute, Rabindran Saab, a very good friend. हम बैठ के गप्पा मार रहे थे. I came a little early, so we're talking to each other. And he was making a statement, this gentleman who started his institute. He was 26 when he started the institute. His family was living at Chennai. He was living a bachelor's life. And I have seen him studying for 8 to 10 hours every day. He used to teach current affairs, he used to teach science, technology, he used to teach polity, everything he used to teach. And he was telling, sir, when I used to take my class and class goes good, such a kind of aesthetic pleasure I get. Okay? We are recalling those days. When you primarily have small number of students, meeting them face to face, teaching them, connecting your heart and soul, ultimately the students, they clear the exam, and from UPSC office, they primarily run back to you to describe their interview. And when they primarily are selected, forget about their joy and the joy of the teachers. That is known as self-fulfilling prophecy. You feel that not only that student has cleared the exam, but you have cleared the exam. There is a purpose behind what you are doing. समझ में आ रहा है कि नहीं आ रहा है? I'm telling you the truth. At this age, if I am teaching, I'm 62 now. If at this age I am teaching, I'm not going to get much from out of this teaching. Money, other things I'm going to make will be left out for my children. They are well settled. So money is not the motivation at this stage to teach. The smile on your face and the people, those who are waiting to primarily make it big in life, that keeps you going. And that we call as self-fulfilling prophecy. You will not be getting that only when you clear UPSC. You will be getting that when you use that position to see the smile in the face of others. As a collector, if you are bringing justice to somebody who is primarily, he's primarily coming to you, tears are rolling down from his eyes, and he's telling, Madam, without you, I couldn't have got this kind of justice. That is known as what? Self-fulfilling prophecy. That money cannot give you. Psychophancy cannot give you. So many official cars cannot give you, and big bungalow you have got, that will not be giving you. Understanding or not? And when you are not able to do that because of political pressure, you see that you want to do something, but you are not doing it as a collector because there is a pressure from the above. You ask this question to yourself, why the hell I have been primarily sitting here in this chair? What I am doing? Is it the purpose for which I have been primarily working so hard and came to this position? Understanding or not? That is self-defeating prophecy. Therefore, human beings do carry a mind, and that mind evaluates whether you have done good or you have done bad. Mind makes you happy or unhappy. Therefore, that state of mind of man cannot be ignored when we are doing sociology. समझ में आ रहा है कि नहीं आ रहा है? Self-fulfilling prophecy means what? Self-fulfilling prophecy means what? Doing something that is primarily fulfilling in character, and that gives you a realization of your own self. Doing something that is fulfilling. Yes, I have done it. I could do it. Understand not? And that is a form of self-realization. Oh, such a wonderful job I have done. So man lives for that. So it's the primary need of man may be food, subsequent need may be power, but ultimate need of man is psychic pleasure. समझ में आ रहा है कि नहीं आ रहा है? तो इसलिए why do you primarily change jobs? Because the job you are doing with Microsoft gives you money but not giving you happiness. समझ में आ रहा है कि नहीं आ रहा है? So for that you always remember, self-fulfilling prophecy is important. Therefore, sociology should not study structure. Structure has component that is called as actors, people, and people's happiness, sociology must have to study. Therefore, sociology and psychology should come close to each other. Understanding or not? So, three people said psychology and sociology should come close to each other. Who are they? Marx, Weber, Robert King Morton. And they spoke about it in a different way. So therefore, with psychology, we can make a better sociology. Okay? I'll be bringing one more person who also brings sociology and psychology close to each other. Okay? You know, if I look at Wilfred Pareto, he is developing a theory. It is known as elite theory. Who are elites? Who is elite? Elites are who? Elites are exclusive. Elites are exclusive body of people who are holding topmost positions in different spheres of life. ठीक है? Exclusive bodies of people who are holding important positions, apex positions in different spheres of life. ठीक है? Going by this definition, the people those who are holding topmost position in bureaucracy, इनका नाम क्या होगा? बोलो. People holding topmost positions in bureaucracy, administrative elites, because they're holding apex position in the system of administration. ठीक है? Topmost industrialist of the country. Which elites? Topmost industrialist of the country. Business elites. Topmost intellectuals. Family who? Intellectual elites. Academic elites. So elites are present in different spheres of society. ठीक है? What is making them elites? बोलो. What is making them elites? बताओ. What is making them elites? साइकोलॉजी पढ़ रहे हो? नहीं, और एक चीज बताता हूं, सुनो. He tells all of us are driven by psychic predispositions. All of us are driven by psychic predispositions. Okay? So means we have got psychic inclination towards something. Okay? So we have got different kinds of psychological drives, psychological inclination, psychological orientation, or not, psychological attachment. You know, that psychological attachment slowly groom us to be that what we are today. Okay? In this sense, from the beginning, we'll be finding out some people are very good at calculations, making money, keeping accounts. Okay? So you find out they are psychologically oriented towards business or business management. And if they primarily go for that kind of vocation, they'll be rising to the top. Similarly, some people in the school, you'll be finding out they have got inclination for power. Therefore, they exhibit leadership qualities. मैडम पूछेगी डस्टर मॉनिटर किसको बनना है, चौक मॉनिटर किसको बनना है, कोई भी मॉनिटर, क्लास मॉनिटर छोड़ दो, बाद में आएगा. Any position of importance is given, they will be the first one to jump into it. Get me a glass of water, they will be the first ones to run, so that they'll get visibility. And when they come to college, they contest in the elections. After winning college elections, when you come for civil service, they will be primarily contesting in Gram Panchayat election, cooperative elections, or they'll be doing some kind of social work. And subsequently, they will become MLAs and MPs, and you will be serving them as bureaucrats. Understanding or not? So therefore, all of us are driven by some kind of what? Psychic orientation. And that is known as residues. RESIDUES. You have economic residues, political residues. So driven by these residues, people primarily become elites and dominate in different spheres of society. Okay? So as sociologists, we have to study elites. And who are elites? That is not enough. Why are they elites? That is important. When I'm studying why are the elites, then I'm taking the help of psychology. Okay? If I don't take the help of psychology, then what I can study? I can study who are the elites. Therefore, my description would be, there are business elites, there are administrative elites, there are political elites, there are cinema elites. So these are the elites present. But taking the help of psychology, I am going further and saying, elites are elites because they are driven by different kinds of residues. So which makes a better sociology? With psychology or without psychology? With psychology. Therefore, what is wrong if we take the help of psychology to make a better sociology? So therefore, bolte jao. Therefore, Karl Marx, Max Weber, आगे बोलो, Robert Merton and Wilfred Pareto, they established nexus between, connectivity between psychology and sociology to make a better sociology for us. ठीक है? You know, most of the sociologists, while discussing social life, they give importance on role. नाम हम नहीं बता रहा हूं, ज्यादा नाम हो रहा है. Robert Merton talks about role. Ralph Linton talks about role. Ralph Linton, Linton, they talk about role. What is role? रोल क्या है? तुम अमिताभ बच्चन हो, रोल प्ले करोगे, शाहरुख खान हो, रोल क्या है? पार्ट टू प्ले, सिनेमा कर रहे हो या क्या? व्हाट इज रोल? The world is a stage. We all are primarily, bolo. The world is a stage. We all are primarily who? Players in it. We all are who? बताओ. We all are playing different kinds of roles in different situations. Very good. And all these roles we are playing in different situations explain our status and personality. ठीक है? समझ में आ रहा है कि नहीं आ रहा है? Look at this thing. In front of you, I am playing my part personality. I'm presenting myself in front of you as who? A teacher. But I am not just a teacher. I'm a father to my children, husband to my wife. I am a friend to my other friends. I'm a citizen to the state, child to my parents. So therefore, one person is playing different kinds of roles in different situations. And mind gives us capacity to distinguish one situation from other situation. ठीक है? When I'm sitting in front of you, इतना चौड़ा होके मैं बैठता हूं, मैं तुम्हारा प्रोफेसर हूं, I am teaching you, so all of you are attentive towards me, and I'm speaking, you are writing, my words are Biblic. The moment I step out from this room, from this building, nobody recognizes me. Even a rickshaw wala will be primarily, taking a rickshaw in fast speed when I'm crossing the road. So my role will change there. So forgetting all possible kind of position I'm holding, so simply I'll be looking here and there, and safely I'll try to cross the road. While driving on the road, traffic wala who is standing there is just primarily school pass person. 10th pass किया, बड़ा मुश्किल से pass किया. He is telling, hey, stop here. Light was about to turn primarily red. You cross the red light. पैसा दे. I am not telling him I am a big professor, I am this, that, and I have produced so many IAS officers. क्या बात करता है? नहीं साहब, गलती हो गया. Rule has changed. Therefore, man is nothing, humans are nothing but a bundle of rules. समझ में आ रहा है कि नहीं आ रहा है? We are bundle of rules and playing these different roles in different context. बताओ. If I change my role, that what context doesn't demand from me. So here I'll be playing the role of a friend. बताऊंगा, सोशियोलॉजी क्या पढ़ रहे हो? चलो कनॉट प्लेस जाएंगे, चाय पी के आएंगे. So if I play the role of a friend with my students and start teaching sociology to my friends, जूता उधर से मिलेगा, इधर से भी मिलेगा. People will say this person has gone mad. समझ में आ रहा है कि नहीं आ रहा है? And such persons are known as abnormal personalities. They'll be going to Agra. आगरा के मेंटल हॉस्पिटल है. समझ में आ रहा है कि नहीं आ रहा है? उधर जाएंगे. So इसीलिए be careful. So sociology studies people at role. And when role confusion is there, role crisis is there, role contradiction is there, so how people are affected by it, how these problems are taken care of. So that sociology must have to study. Therefore, when sociology studies role contradictions, role conflict, role confusion, sociology is coming close to psychology. समझ में आ रहा है कि नहीं आ रहा है? तो when sociology is primarily studying what, how roles of the people are not befitting to the situation. I'm supposed to play the role of the teacher, but I'm primarily playing the role of a friend. The contradictions, the confusions, the crisis, so that comes up. When I am studying that as a sociologist, sociology is coming close to what? Psychology. Because psychology is talking about abnormal mind. एंड सोशियोलॉजी टेल्स, देखो अरे मास्टर आके वहां पे डांस कर रहा है क्लास में, abnormal बन गया. Understanding not? So when sociology is studying abnormal role, confusing role crisis, role contradiction, then sociology is coming close to what? Psychology. आया समझ में? Therefore, sociology studies roles. Role are not always perfectly played. There is role confusion. There is role contradiction. There is role crisis. Role crisis क्या है? Role crisis क्या है? रोल क्राइसिस क्या है? रोल क्राइसिस बताओ, रोल क्राइसिस क्या है? रोल क्राइसिस क्या है? हाँ, inability to fulfill certain kind of roles. Yes, when you feel like doing something but you cannot do it and you are not enjoying what you are doing, role crisis. ठीक है? A working mother is leaving a baby at home and she has joined the office, understand not, because she could not get extended holiday, vacation or leave. 3 months child is living at home and forced to primarily go to work, suffering from role crisis, feel like quitting the job, not enjoying her job. Understanding or not? Role crisis. So her state of mind when I study as a sociologist, I am more a psychologist than being a sociologist. Therefore, sociology is going close to what? Psychology. Understanding or not? When children do not listen to parents and parents feel helpless, role crisis. समझ में आ रहा है कि नहीं आ रहा है? So this thing sociology is also studying. So therefore sociology is going close to what? Psychology. ठीक है? So दो चीज बताया. Sociology going close to psychology. पहले बताया था we can do a better sociology by borrowing elements from psychology. ठीक है? By borrowing elements from psychology, we can make a better sociology. Who spoke about it? Marx has spoken about it. Weber has spoken about it. इसका बाद तुमको पता है, Robert K. Morton is also speaking about it. Elite theory is speaking about it. Now I am saying, sociology is stepping towards primarily what? Sociology is stepping towards psychology. Understand not? So when we are studying roles, how people are playing roles, sometimes role is perfect, sometimes role is imperfect. Imperfect role gives rise to role confusion, role crisis, role contradiction, which are mental phenomena, and that sociology is discussing. And when we are discussing that, we come close to what? Psychology. ठीक है? Last part I am discussing. Social psychology is a branch of psychology that is bridging the gap between sociology and psychology. Social psychology is a branch of psychology that is bringing sociology close to psychology. Okay. I'll be referring to two persons here. One is Cooley and G.H. Mead. Both of them are who? Social psychologists. C.H. Cooley is writing a book जिसका नाम है लुकिंग ग्लास सेल्फ. लुकिंग ग्लास मिरर, लुकिंग ग्लास सेल्फ, SELF। ठीक है, एक सेंटेंस बोलता हूं इसमें से, देखो हाउ दिस थ्योरी इज ब्रिंगिंग सोशियोलॉजी क्लोज टू साइकोलॉजी। लिखते हैं, ईच टू ईच ए लुकिंग ग्लास। ठीक है, ईच टू ईच ए लुकिंग ग्लास क्या है? बोलो विद्वान। ईच टू ईच ए लुकिंग ग्लास। वेरी गुड स्नेहल। ये तुम्हारा जो शकल सर है, योर फेस टू मी इज नॉट योर फेस, योर फेस टू मी इज ए मिरर। ठीक है, when I look at your face and I find out you are smiling, you are happy, you are enjoying, I feel elevated. So immediately from your smile, I get to know my teaching is getting into your head. You are understanding things nicely. Then I evaluate myself. I am teaching well. If I see in your face remorse is there, pathos is there, confusion is there, crisis is there, misunderstanding is there, understand not? Then I consider things are not going fine. Then immediately I bring an example. Immediately I repeat. So repeating, giving example, further repeating in this sense, because I want all these mirrors will be reflecting on my face as good. Understanding what I'm telling or not? 5 of you are happy, but that is not giving me satisfaction, psychological satisfaction. ये जितना 25 मिरर मेरा सामने है, all mirror when I look at them, they should be reflecting my face as something good, something positive, something appreciable. Apply the same principle to life. We want everybody to appreciate us. Therefore, when neighborhood uncle comes, we become extra polite to him. Uncle, बैठिए बैठिए, पापा नहीं है, बैठिए. And again, uncle चाय पिएंगे? You are not really concerned about whether he is having tea or not. You are concerned about the fact when Gupta ji goes out of my home, he should go and tell, अरे मिश्रा जी का बेटी जो है ना इतना बढ़िया है, इतना संस्कारी है, इतना ध्यान रखती है. I went to their place and see the kind of treatments he gave me. So same thing you do to everybody. So that all are singing song in your primarily glory. All are primarily singing song praising you. Therefore, each to each a looking glass. We want appreciation from everybody. We don't want anybody to primarily criticize us. Therefore, adjust, change, modify our behavioral patterns. Therefore, when father comes from the office, you are ready. Papa, have a glass of water. Understanding it not? So that he also appreciates you. When you meet a friend, oof, artificial. Hi, I have not seen you since ages. Where were you? The moment you utter these words and your expression change, that is nothing. But you are just waiting for what? A note of appreciation from her. You're my best friend. I also miss you so much. You are so nice. You are so hospitable. You are so caring. You are on the top of Everest mountain. Therefore, who are friends to you? Those who primarily praise you limitless. Who are enemies to you? Those who criticize you most. Therefore, to convert an enemy into a friend, start praising that person in and out. Therefore, life is a psychological game. समझ में आ रहा है कि नहीं आ रहा है? So Kule talks about it. If I say that you are brilliant, writing very good answers, you are going to crack in first attempt. You will be countering to it by telling, my teacher is great. He is teaching excellent. It is because of his teaching we are going to make it big. हमें पता है, तुम्हें भी पता है, इसलिए मैं तुम्हारा तारीफ करूं, तुम मेरा तारीफ करो. दिस इज द ह्यूमन वर्ल्ड. समझ में आ रहा है कि नहीं आ रहा है? दैट हैपेंस एवरीवेयर. ठीक है? This person you are going to do in your syllabus, GH meet. Okay? And he is a person who is actually strongly establishing relationship between sociology and psychology. Okay? He writes a book. Title of the book is Mind, Self and Society. ठीक है? किताब का नाम क्या है? माइंड साइकोलॉजी, सेल्फ साइकोलॉजी, सोसाइटी सोशियोलॉजी. And it tells how mind, self and society are interconnected to each other. एक सेंटेंस लिखता है, ह्यूमन सोसाइटी इज द सोसाइटी ऑफ सेल्फ्स. SELVES. ह्यूमन सोसाइटी इज ए सोसाइटी ऑफ सेल्फ्स. ठीक है? वी ऑल आर सेल्फ्स. ठीक है? And these selves, we all are who? Selves. And these selves, human selves I'm talking about, they carry a mind. हम तीन चीज बात कर रहे हैं, सेल्फ, माइंड, सेल्फ एंड सोसाइटी. All of us are selves, human selves. And we carry a mind. And what is stored in our mind? What is kept in our mind? Bolo, what is kept in your mind? In the childhood, mother told you not to primarily touch the lamp. You touched it and you burnt your finger. They are in your mind. Also there in the mind, समझ में आ रहा है कि नहीं आ रहा है? क्या बोलो? Also present in the mind that father is shouting at mother. When mother is late to offer food to father. Also it is there in the mind, brother fought against you. Or saying not, and gave you 2 slaps. It was painful. Also it is present in your mind that once you failed in love and you broke your heart. If at all that is applied to you. So everything that you experienced in life is there in your head, in your brain. What others have experienced that you have kept in your mind. What you have experienced that you have kept in your mind. What happened to situation that is also kept in mind. And most importantly, events that you are reading in the newspaper is also kept in your mind. Lakshmikant is also kept in your mind. So mind is a storehouse of informations. And the jokes we are cracking in the class, you remember the jokes, sociology you may forget. That is there in your mind. Therefore, mind is a storehouse of informations. ठीक है? समझ में आ रहा है कि नहीं आ रहा है? And mind also remembers customs, norms, culture, values, ideas. Who is what to you? ये दादा है, ताऊ है, ताई है, friend है, friend's father है. So all these informations are stored in your mind. Therefore, mind is a storehouse of information about people, about events, about place, about actions, about reactions. Everything is present in your mind. ठीक है? And yourself, जो अंदर है, that you express while sitting in the class as a student. Yourself you are expressing in your family as a child. Self you are expressing as a buyer in the market. And self you are expressing as a citizen when you go to cast your vote. That self is present within. ठीक है? And your self is divided into two compartments. ठीक है? Your self is divided into two compartments. In one compartment there is present I, and in the other compartment there is present me. ठीक है? Self has two compartments, two parts. In one part of the self, who lives? I. And in the second part of the compartment, who lives? Me. I is who? Creative, innovative, dynamic part of the self. Creative, innovative, dynamic part of the self. Polite नहीं है. Creative, innovative, dynamic part of the self. And me is rule bound, disciplined, regularized part of the self. ठीक है? So self is having two parts. One part of the self is primarily following rules, laws, customs, disciplines. Other part of the self is innovative, creative, adventurous. ठीक है? When you are presenting your own self in a given situation, a dialogue, communication takes place between I and me. ठीक है? When you are presenting yourself in a given situation, communication is taking place between I and me. And once their communication is over, a line of presentation of self is prepared. समझ में नहीं आया? एग्जाम्पल देके बताता हूँ, बड़ा इंटरेस्टिंग चीज है ये. मैं देखता हूँ कभी कभी जो लिखते हैं सारे हमारा एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन वाला लिखते हैं, तुम भी लिखते हो. मैं आने से पहले एक नोटिस लिखा होता है. You should be switching on your camera, failing which, you will be thrown out of the room, ऐसे करके लिखा होता है. पढ़े हो इसको? पढ़े हो? See how presentation of self takes place. At times, so this is primarily what? A situation to which you are posted into. Classroom is a situation where you have to present yourself, and there is a rule, there is a law that is said, switch on your camera, otherwise this and this thing will happen. ठीक है? देन मी बोलता है, अरे कैमरा ऑन करके बैठो. ये सारे मी वाले बैठे हैं इधर. ठीक है? ये मी वाला नहीं है सारे, ये जो बैठे हैं चुपचाप चुप के बैठे हैं. सो मी वाला जितना बैठे हैं कैमरा ऑन करके बैठे हैं. Since they have showed we are disciplined, so those who are opening up their camera and sitting, me part of their self is activated and they're switching on the camera and sitting here. जो आई वाले हैं, they have switched off their camera for reasons different. कोई नहीं नहाया है 3 दिन हो गया, अरे why should my face my teacher will say, नहीं. 2-3 पीछे बैठे हैं, मैं आगे बैठा हूं, तो कैमरा ऑन कर दूंगा तो पकड़ लेगा, तो इसको बंद कर दिया. ठीक है? सो व्हेन ही इज पुटिंग यू इनटू, क्या रूम फूम बोलते हैं इसको, वेटिंग रूम, देन आई इज एक्टिवेटेड. ए मैसेज कम्स, सर माय कैमरा इज नॉट वर्किंग, इट इज ब्रोकन यस्टरडे. सर देयर इज सम टेक्निकल प्रॉब्लम, आई कैन नॉट स्विच ऑन माय कैमरा, डोंट पुट मी इनटू दैट रूम. ये सर आई वाला करता है. दिस इज सोशियोलॉजी ऑफ एवरीडे लाइफ. Understand not? So some of you are presenting yourself through the activation of me. Others are presenting their self-activation of I. Combined together, your presentation of self and my presentation of self make this classroom possible. समझ में आ रहा है कि नहीं आ रहा है? Similarly, all scientists in a scientific conference room are presenting their self. आलोक बोलता है माई कैमरा इज ऑन, व्हाई आई वाज डिस्कनेक्टेड, आस्क योर वाईफाई मैन, डोंट आस्क वाजीराम. ठीक है? सो लुक एट दिस थिंग. सो इफ यू आर प्राइमरली प्रेजेंटिंग योर सेल्फ एज साइंटिस्ट, सो प्रेजेंटिंग देयर सेल्फ एज साइंटिस्ट डिबेट ऑन ए थीम, whether Pluto should be accepted as a planet or not. All scientists are putting their self. What is activated? knowledge, expertise, me is activated. So they make arguments and debate. And ultimately, they're arriving at the conclusion, no, Pluto doesn't have these and these features, therefore Pluto is not a planet. Similarly, in Parliament House, क्या होता है? Opposition presents self, ruling party presents self, debate discussion continues. Ultimately, a law is passed. समझ में आ रहा है कि नहीं आ रहा है? Therefore, law in the parliament is passed through the presentation of self of the treasury bench and opposition. Classroom is possible because of the presentation of self by the teacher and by the student. और सेल्फ कैसे प्रेजेंट होता है तुमको और एक बढ़िया एग्जांपल देता हूं. You all have gone through it. You are going to school, but you have not done homework. And teacher is catching you in the class. Homework kahan hai? Immediately me was thinking of telling madam, I could not do it. I'm sorry, ma'am. Please excuse me. Tomorrow I'll get it done. I comes to picture, right? Don't be truthful. दादी को बीमार कर दो. Ma'am, I was about to work. My dadi falls sick. What to do? There's a lot of disturbance in the family. Many times you have made your dadi sick. दादाजी sick. Guest appeared. ये सारे जो काम है किसका है? I. So I is primarily finding out. समझ में आ रहा है कि नहीं आ रहा है? Escaping route from difficult situations. So whenever you are facing difficult situation, I comes to your rescue. Find out thousands of other causes. हाँ, आलोक बोल रहे नानी को मैंने बहुत बार मार दिया. ठीक है, और मत मारना. ठीक है. So you will be finding out that I most of the time is activated and giving you certain kind of what? A respite in difficult situations. And that is what is social life. Therefore, the way you are presenting yourself in different situations, combining that, society is made. Therefore, bolo, respecting to psychology, we can make a better sociology or not. Establishing connectivity between mind, self, we can understand society better. Society is the subject matter of sociology. Mind and self are the subject matter of psychology. But when psychology and sociology come together, they make brilliant explanation of man and society. So therefore, what is good for the growth of discipline, we should go for that. Therefore, in today's context, sociology and psychology are coming close to each other, and more so, social psychology and sociology are coming close to each other. And that proximity is giving us better understanding of society. Okay? And that is brilliantly being done in today's context by critical theorists. Critical theorists are brilliantly doing it. You know, critical theorist advocate, इसको इसीलिए बोल रहा हूं कि तुम्हारे लिए एप्लीकेबल है. Critical theorist advocate that all over the world, ठीक है, authoritarian personalities have developed. ठीक है. Who are authoritarian personalities? Who are they? Who are they? नहीं, ये मत बताओ. Authoritarian personalities are they, those who don't trust many others. They only trust a selected bodies of people, those who are moving around them. कोटरी जिसको बोलते हो. They are suspicious towards outsiders. They are always surrounded by few people, a handful of people. So everything these people, the handful of people say, they only accept that, appreciate that. Okay? They try to concentrate all power with them. They don't like criticisms. Okay? So these are the psychic traits of whom? Authoritarian personality. Okay? They live with power and they die for power. Without power, these people cannot sustain, they cannot survive. And they demand complete what? Submission from others. Either you go in my way or you go highways. Either you listen to me or you get lost. Such kind of leaders have made appearance not only in Nazi society, fascist society, socialistic society, but also they make appearance in democracy. डेमोक्रेसी में नाम क्या है? डोनाल्ड ट्रंप. ट्रंप का नाम सुने हो? अरे यू मे क्रिटिसाइज मी, हाउ डज इट मैटर टू मी? What I think that is correct, what you think it is all nonsense. Therefore, authoritarian personalities are making appearance in all possible kind of state. Therefore, there is no country that is democratic, no country that is socialistic, because within every country we find out authoritarian personalities are making appearance. Okay? So personality is a subject of discussion for which discipline? Which discipline studies personality? Psychology. Therefore, if sociology studies personality, authoritarian personality, we understand different kinds of political structures effectively. समझ में आ रहा है कि नहीं आ रहा है? Yes or no? So therefore, psychology is being used in the domain of sociology by critical theorists who advocate that how authoritarian personalities are universally exercising control over everybody. ठीक है? फेमिनिस्ट तो और एक बात करते हैं. हाँ भाई फेमिनिस्ट बताओ, जितना फेमिनिस्ट बैठे हो इधर बोलो. आस्था बताओ क्या है? आस्था मोनिका दोनों बताएंगे. फेमिनिस्ट क्या बोलते हैं? हाँ बोलो. अरे बताओ. फेमिनिस्ट बोलते हैं men always have a psychosis to dominate over women. हाँ स्नेहा बोल दी, power lies with men. Psychologically बताओ. It is always primarily men's psychology to dominate over women. It's a psychic predisposition of men to dominate over women. Therefore, men, they have developed institutions through which they will be exercising control over the primarily whom? Women. And these institutions are what? Marriage, family, trade union, industry, school. समझ में आ रहा है कि नहीं आ रहा है? So through these mechanical law, so through these institutions, so patriarchal values and patriarchal ideas are enforced on women, so that women will be subordinated to men. Yes, school is also there. So therefore, wherever you go in society, you find out it is the psychology of patriarchy that is putting women into the state of what? Subordination. Therefore, psychology is very effectively being used in the domain of what? Sociology today. So therefore, mechanistic sociology is becoming a lively sociology because of what? Selective use of psychology in the field of sociological analysis and in the field of sociological research. And the proximity between these two disciplines is again a celebration of interdisciplinarity. Last sentence लिखोगे, when sociology started as a discipline, early sociologists wanted separation between sociology and psychology. Subsequently, sociologists advocated, क्या? Using psychology, we can make a better sociology. Thereafter, sociologists went close to psychology. Now we have arrived at a situation where psychology and sociology are meeting together to understand social life in a very dynamic and progressive way. So therefore, relationship between psychology and sociology is changing in time with the advancement and growth of sociology. है समझ में आ रहा है कि नहीं आ रहा है? So therefore, डॉर्कहाइम का टाइम में सोशियोलॉजी वाज डिफरेंट फ्रॉम साइकोलॉजी. रिपीट इसको समराइज कर रहा हूं. Durkheim was the original founder of sociology. During his time, psychology was different from sociology. He batted in favor of that. Subsequently, Marx, Weber, Pareto, Robert Merton. They said sociology can be better if we primarily go close to what? Psychology. Therefore, better sociology is possible if sociology goes close to psychology. समझ में आ रहा है कि नहीं आ रहा है? So thereafter, we primarily went for what? We went close to psychology. कौन सा study? Role study. Ralph Linton I was talking about. समझ में आ रहा है कि नहीं आ रहा है? So role study, status study. So through that, we went extremely close to psychology. Now, social psychology got these two disciplines extremely close to each other. Now, sociology and psychology are bonded to each other through the intervention of social psychology. G.H. Mead, C.H. Cooley. So, through the intervention of social psychology, sociology and psychology are juxtaposed to each other. And through that, we are having a better understanding about social life. So therefore, relationship between sociology and psychology has changed immensely with the growth and development of both the disciplines. And this proximity between both the disciplines is a celebration of interdisciplinarity. It's a celebration of knowledge. ये लिखोगे, ये टेबल करके मत लिखना. Psychology studies mind, sociology studies society. Psychology go for quantitative analysis, sociology go for qualitative analysis. समझ में है कि नहीं आ रहा है? Psychology studies mental problem, sociology studies social problem. ये लोग को 3 नंबर मिलेगा 10 में से. Understand not? ये सारे इकट्ठा करके लिखोगे. ठीक है? अभी तुमको पढ़ा रहे हैं सोशियोलॉजी एंड एंथ्रोपोलॉजी. You know, anthropo means man. Logy means scientific study. So anthropology means scientific study of man. ठीक है? Sociology has come from 2 words. Socius means society. Logy means scientific study. Therefore, sociology deals with the scientific study of society, and anthropology deals with the study of man. Okay? Now, let me get into the subject matter of anthropology. When I say anthropology deals with the study of man, okay, there is a branch of anthropology which originated first, that is known as physical anthropology. Okay. Physical anthropology looks into physiological characteristics of mankind or biology of man. Physical anthropology talks about. Okay. Therefore, physical anthropology deals with DNA. It deals with race. It studies fossils. Okay. Looks at evolution. ठीक है? तो physical anthropology deals with, understand not? What? Physical anthropology deals with which aspect of man? Physical traits of man. How Homo sapiens came out of Homo erectus. What was the physical feature of primarily Homo erectus? How it is different from Homo sapiens? Size of nose, nasal index, type of hair, form of forehead, kind of fingers, body structures, color, everything they primarily study in detail. Physical anthropology. They study physiology of man, evolution of man. Through fossils, they look into remains of living beings. So they DNA test they go for. समझ में आ रहा है कि नहीं आ रहा है? So therefore, physical anthropology is the most ancient branch of anthropology, tracing its origin from biology and physiology. ठीक है? And they take interest in the study of physiology of man. Therefore, physical anthropology has nothing to do with sociology. Got my point? Anthropology is the study of what? Man. Which anthropology is the oldest branch of anthropology? Physical anthropology. Physical anthropology draws inferences from where? Biology. Drawing inferences from physiology. समझ में आ रहा है कि नहीं आ रहा है? And genetics. Therefore, it has nothing to do with what? Sociology. तो इसीलिए बहुत सारे यूनिवर्सिटी में if you are doing a course in anthropology, they write MSc in anthropology, not MA in anthropology. Because anthropology is tracing its origin from biology, origin from physiology, genetics. From 1840 to 1890, a new branch of anthropology has developed. And that new branch of anthropology was known as cultural anthropology. Okay? This is a period of time when sociology was also coming into prominence. Okay? 1838 में Auguste Comte is primarily coining the concept sociology. Okay? And most of the famous sociologists are making their writings during this period, 1840 to 1890. Durkheim is writing this during this period. Marx is also primarily making contribution during this period. And little primarily more than that, 1910, 1915, Weber is also making contribution during this period. Okay? So therefore, at this point of time, sociology is also evolving. And most important sociologists of this period are Durkheim, Ferdinand Tönnies, Auguste Comte. They all are making contribution during this period. दो चीज डेवलप हो रहा है. In the field of anthropology, cultural anthropology is developing, and a new branch of social science is developing in the form of sociology. ठीक है? Cultural anthropology is interested to study man in a cultural context. ठीक है? And sociology is greatly concerned about the study of man in the context of society. So difference is that we study society, they study culture. Okay? So what is the difference between society and culture? What is the difference between society and culture? Batao. When I speak about society, I speak about structural parts of the society. Family, kinship, religion, education, polity, mode of production. So when बता रहा हूं तुमको ध्यान से सुनो. So society looks into structure which are concrete, because structures are the products of roles. Roles are repetitive in character. Therefore, structure is subjected to continuity. ठीक है? Culture is a body of customs, values, norms, usages, ideas, morality. So culture is binding structures together. Culture is customs, norms, values, ideas, usages, morality. So culture is primarily binding institutions together, one. And culture is guiding, disciplining the behavior of the individuals. Understanding or not? Therefore, invisible hand of culture is promoting discipline in society. So culture is invisible, and culture is disciplining to individual behavior, giving direction to institution, and subsequently giving rise to continuity of society. Okay? So we study how societies are primarily formulated, and they give importance on the study of what? Culture. कैसे difference हुआ मैं बता रहा हूं. Cultural anthropologists never give importance on society. They give importance on how man and culture are connected to each other. Anthropology is the study of what? Man. Previously, man, physical features of man, biological structure of man, understand not? Bodily parts of man, physical anthropology was studying. So during this period, 1840 to 1890, anthropology looks into man in a cultural surrounding. Okay? What is cultural surrounding? I'm discussing that in detail. Early cultural anthropologists like Taylor, E.B. Taylor, he tells that there is an evolution of culture. Okay? Culture evolves from magic to religion to science. Okay? Culture is body of beliefs, values. So man in lower culture, इसको बोलता है lower culture. Man in lower culture is believing in magic. Magic क्या है? Magic क्या है? Magic क्या है? ओए, magic क्या है? What is magic? बोलो. What is magic? हाँ, blind faith, illusion. Magic ये बोलता है a piece of stone can have magical primarily effect on your body. जो सत्याना से रिंग पहन के घूमते हो, मून स्टोन, सन स्टोन, फलाना पुखराज, so they are nothing but magic. जो ताबीज पहनते हो, ताबीज, if you break it, you'll be finding out roots of the tree will be there. Therefore, man in case of primarily simple society, lower culture, was considering everything is possible through magic. I'll be telling you, there are many tribes where women don't grow hair on their head. Because it is believed their enemies can be picking up hair from their head and charm it, causing miseries for them. So इसलिए they clean shave their head. Understanding or not? So there is a strong belief that if somebody takes part of your clothes, charming it, they can cause miseries to you. Magic. So therefore, in case of tribal societies, simple societies, black magic isko bolte ho, people believe that everything is possible through magic. If you are charming your sword, charming your bows and arrows, they can be primarily used to kill your enemies. Therefore, to get rain, people go for magic. To win war, people go for magic. To protect their house from the evil spirits, they primarily do some magical act. Therefore, magic was present in case of lower culture. Subsequently, magic culture is replaced by culture of religion. समझ में आ रहा है कि नहीं आ रहा है? Culture of religion. Culture of religion क्या है? If you are supposed to get rain, worship to rain god. You need wealth, worship to Lakshmi. You need education, knowledge, worship to Ganesh ji. So God will be responsible for everything. For a childbirth, people go to temple. For health of the child, people go to temple. Every day there is ritual, one ritual or the other will be performed. Mother will be keeping fast for the health of the child. Religion आ गया. Middle culture. Lower culture is driven by magical thought. Middle culture is driven by religious thought. And higher culture is driven by which thought? Rationality, scientific temper, समझ में आ रहा है कि नहीं आ रहा है? And logicality. Therefore, cultures are moving in three different stages. Lower culture, middle culture, and higher culture. Culture is evolving through a process. Lower stage, middle stage, and higher stage. ठीक है? कौन बोला? कौन बोला? E.B. टाइलर. ठीक है? इसका बाद आके पहुंचे L.H. मॉर्गन. ये बोले culture are moving through three different stages: savage, barbarian, and civilization. ठीक है? Each cultural stage is having technological and institutional character. Each stage of culture is having unique form of technology and unique form of institution. देखो, in savage culture, savagery, people will be using raw tools. ठीक है? Or most primarily rudimentary form of tools and technologies they will be using. Like a piece of stone they will be using as technology. Using that, they'll be plucking the trees. Small piece of wood they'll be using as technology. They'll be using that as digging sticks. Therefore, tools and technologies will be extremely simple. Which society? Savage society. Okay? And in savage society, people don't have any specific rules of marriage. Therefore, promiscuity will be present. What is promiscuity? Anybody can have sexual relationship with any other person. Therefore, incest rule has not made appearance here. Means brother, father, mother, sister, ये कुछ नहीं था. So free sexuality was present like animals. So human beings were going for also free sexuality. ठीक है? So savage society is simple tools and technology and no regulation on sexuality in that society. ठीक है? Then comes barbarian culture. During barbarian stage, people know potteries. They know domestication of animals. They further go for plantation or horticulture. Understand not? And people have some kind of knowledge. People have certain kinds of knowledge. Understand not? About construction activities. They are constructing a house and living in that. तो ये डेवलप हुआ कौन सा स्टेज में? बार्बरियन स्टेज में. But most importantly in barbarian stage, people started making weapons. And constantly they were fighting war against each other. They're stealing the properties of each other. And during this period, form of marriage was polygamous. A man can have many wives, or a woman can have many husbands. You can take the case of Pandavas. You can take the case of Dasarath. One man, many women, Dasarath. One woman, many men, Pandavas. ये सारे marriage was possible. And Ravan kidnapped Sita. Any man who is having muscle power can be primarily what? Kidnapping a woman. That was the form of marriage. ठीक है? Domestication of animal came into prominence. Horticulture developed here. Small trade took place. War became continuous. So therefore, that is barbarian stage. Civilization. Knowledge of writing is known to you. Knowledge of wheel is present. Polygamous. So knowledge of wheel means people are using wheels to go for trade. Architecture is also developing. एग्रीकल्चर इज डेवलपिंग, इंडस्ट्री इज डेवलपिंग. समझ पा रहा है कि नहीं आ रहा है? जिसको तुम मॉडर्न सोसाइटी बोलते हो, इसको सिविलाइजेशन बोलता है. एंड फॉर्म ऑफ मैरिज इज मोनोगामस. समझ में आ रहा है कि नहीं आ रहा है? सो फ्रॉम प्रोमिस्क्यूइटी टू पॉलीगैमी टू मोनोगैमी. इंडस्ट्री टू हॉर्टिकल्चर. इधर इंडस्ट्री, इधर हॉर्टिकल्चर, domestication of animal, potteries, small trade. Either hunting, gathering. So therefore, cultures are evolving from lower stage to middle stage and middle stage to higher stage. Okay? And they say, culture of all the known societies today, जितना भी वर्ल्ड में सोसाइटी है, their cultures can be scaled either as barbarian or as savagery or as civilization. Therefore, every culture starts with which stage? Savagery stage, goes for barbarian stage. Ultimately, it is arriving at civilization stage. ये था कल्चरल एंथ्रोपोलॉजिस्ट का व्यूज. ठीक है? This approach of cultural anthropologist was known as evolutionary approach. Evolutionary theory to culture. Therefore, cultural anthropology borrowed evolutionary theory from biology and applied it to culture study. समझ में आया? तो anthropology came from where to what? Physical anthropology came first, and subsequently during this period, you'll be finding out what happened. Cultural anthropology made appearance. Civilization is modern society. So in civilization, what will be finding out? Monogamous marriage. You will be finding out agriculture, industry, urbanization. So all these things are present. Okay? Now, as a critique to this theory of evolution, a new anthropological theory developed. इसको थोड़ा ध्यान से सुनो. It has got connectivity with India. As a critique to this evolutionary theory of culture, a new theory developed. By W.H.R. Rivers, A.L. Kroeber, and Franz Boas. They developed a new branch of anthropology, new branch of cultural anthropology that is known as theory of diffusion. Theory of diffusion. ठीक है? Diffusion theory they developed. What is diffusion? ये जो W.H.R. Rivers का स्टूडेंट कौन थे पता है? G.S. Gure. G.S. Gure was the student of W.H.R. Rivers. And Gure is the founder of Indian sociology. And he's using this theory effectively to study Indian culture. What is diffusion? बोलो. सुनो मैं बताता हूं. Zigzag motion, mix, क्या कैसे बोल रहे हो? Is it Franz Boas? Yes, B-O-A-S. सुनो मैं बताता हूं. They speak about who? Diffusionist. They speak about two kinds of culture. One is material culture, other is non-material culture. Tools, technologies, weapons, they all are the product of what? Manifestation of what? Material culture. Beliefs, ideas, customs, thoughts, folkways, mores, ये सारे क्या है? Non-material culture. Non-material culture as the product of your consciousness, ideas. Non-material culture comes out of mind, lives in mind. And material culture, which are objective, it can be manifested. Okay? Therefore, pain is what? Material or non-material culture? Pain. Pain is what? Material culture. But poetry? Poetry is what? Non-material culture. Poetry book का बात नहीं कर रहा हूं. Poetry. Thought is what? Non-material culture. But when that thought is making constitution is a book. It's a document. It's material culture. Therefore, dance, drama, music, art, craft, literature, everything is having material manifestation. Beliefs, thought, ideology, customs, norms, non-material. ठीक है? So cultures move from one area to spread to other areas. And that process of culture moving from one area to another area is known as diffusion. ठीक है? Moving of culture from one area to another area is known as what? Diffusion. ठीक है? बताओ. British came to India and they gave us Angrezi. It's a form of cultural diffusion or not? Yes or no? Yes or no? So Indians got to learn about English language because British gave that culture to the people of India. Okay? And when this English got diffused to Punjab, it became what? Punjabi English. Odisha, Odia English. Tamil Nadu, Tamil English. So it's Rabindran Sahab's English is different from my English. Because English is not our mother tongue. We got it in terms of diffusion. Therefore, when culture is diffused from one area to another area, समझ में आ रहा है कि नहीं आ रहा है? We adopt that culture in negotiating with our culture. Therefore, they speak in one English, we speak in multiple form of English. Because English was not our mother tongue, we imbibed it in terms of diffusion from others. समझ में आ रहा है कि नहीं आ रहा है? So when culture diffused from one area to another area, there is a mix-up in the culture taking place or not? Example? बोलो आस्था, example? They send you primarily burger. नाम क्या है? McD. And McD is selling burger to you in the form of what? McD is selling burger to you in the form of आलू टिक्की वाला burger. तो बर्गर में आलू टिक्की इंडियन घुस गया इसमें. इसको हम बोलते हैं इंडियनाइजेशन ऑफ मॉडर्नाइजेशन. Understanding or not? So therefore, when culture moves from one area to another area, it is subjected to diffusion, and when diffusion is taking place, dilution is also making appearance. समझ में आ रहा है कि नहीं आ रहा है? Therefore, ये बोलते हैं भाई ये don't study where from culture came, savage हुआ, barbarism हुआ, civilization हुआ, this is nonsense, out of context. Rather, we should study which culture is moving from where to which place, how dilution is taking place, how culture is influenced to primarily people's behavior. इसको study करो. Understanding or not? बताओ मेरे को. कितना beautifully you can explain that. Anybody from Punjab present in the class? बोलो, है कोई? असीम. आयुषी बोलो. If you look at Punjab, people one generation before in Punjab, ठीक है? One generation before means your grandfather's generation. So most of the people belonging to your grandfather's generation in Punjab were well versed in Urdu. ठीक है? Punjabi people were well versed in primarily Urdu than being well versed in Sanskrit. ठीक है? Food behavior in case of Punjab, Punjabis are mostly non-vegetarians. So therefore, food behavior is also non-Sanskritic. Non-Sanskritic means जो सब नॉर्थ इंडियन ब्राह्मण जो खाना खाते हैं वेजिटेरियन फूड, दैट इज नॉट देयर इन द पंजाब. हाउ डू यू सोशियोलॉजिकली एक्सप्लेन इट? How sociologically we explain it? Because Punjabi culture is more close to Islamic center of civilization. समझ में आ रहा है कि नहीं आ रहा है? It's very close to Lahore. So therefore, Punjabi food habit, Punjabi primarily dress patterns, northwest frontiers. So you find out it's largely influenced by the impact of Islam. ठीक है? But if you look into Allahabad, Banaras, you find out culture is primarily which culture? Aryan culture, Brahminic culture. Therefore, when Sanskrit and Brahminic culture is evolving in case of कहाँ पे? Eastern UP. It is finding it difficult to radiate to Western UP or to Delhi because this belt, Punjab, Haryana, समझ में आ रहा है कि ना, Delhi or to parts of primarily Western Uttar Pradesh, they all are influenced by Islamic culture. Therefore, culture diffused from one area to another area. People adopted to that culture. Corresponding to that, their food, their dress, their language got largely affected. Similarly, ये जो सांस्कृतिक कल्चर है ईस्टर्न यूपी कल्चर, सो जो गंगा बेल्ट में जो रिवर गंगा बेल्ट में जो कल्चर हुआ, आर्यन कल्चर, सांस्कृतिक कल्चर, ब्राह्मणी कल्चर, ये कल्चर स्प्रेड फ्रॉम प्राइमरली ईस्टर्न पार्ट ऑफ इंडिया टू सेंट्रल इंडिया टू रीच नागपुर. समझ में आ रहा है कि नहीं आ रहा है? एंड महाराष्ट्र. And the sadhus and sannyasis of this North India, they went to South India. And they propagated Vishnu, they propagated Indra, they propagated primarily who? Shiva. So therefore this culture spread to that area. Therefore culture moves from one area to another area. समझ में आ रहा है कि नहीं आ रहा है? And you find out some kind of similarities between the place of culture origin and the place of culture diffusion. Understand not? तो इसको सोशियोलॉजी, ऐसे इसको एंथ्रोपोलॉजी शुड स्टडी. Who speak about it? War gives rise to cultural diffusion. Migration gives rise to cultural diffusion. Colonialism gives rise to cultural diffusion. Cross-cultural contact gives rise to cultural diffusion. And cultural diffusion is bringing proximity among the people earlier belonging to different cultures. So speaking in common language, putting on same kind of clothes, eating same kind of food, so people develop a compatibility with each other. समझ में आ रहा है कि नहीं? एक बड़ा सा चीज तुमको बताऊं, ध्यान से सुनो. If different cultures maintain their family exclusiveness, different cultures are maintaining their exclusiveness, can they ever come together to constitute a unified nation? They'll always be fighting on the basis of their cultural differences. But cultural diffusion will be making them close to each other. एक बड़ा इंटरेस्टिंग चीज देखो. Most of the cities or most of the terms used by the people of Karnataka and people of primarily Andhra Pradesh, they carry Sanskritic connotation. Puram. Sanskritic connotations are there. Therefore, though they are a part of South Indian culture, they are also influenced by what? Brahminic, Sanskritic, North Indian culture. Therefore, you to go to Karnataka, you find out people can understand Hindi, they can understand Sanskrit. Andhra Pradesh also same thing you'll be finding out. But in case of Tamil Nadu and Kerala, you'll be finding out cultures are absolutely different. Understanding or not? So therefore, where diffusion is very fast and regular, cultural mix-up has taken place. Where diffusion is not taking place, the distinction is maintained. Understanding or not? So therefore, this is primarily spelled out by diffusion theorist. Okay? So cultural anthropology evolved with evolutionary theory to culture, and subsequently this evolutionary theory was replaced by which theory? Diffusion theory. Okay? Then comes a theory which is bringing anthropology close to sociology. इसलिए मैं बकवास कर रहा हूं. अच्छा, इधर और एक चीज देखो. When anthropologists are going for evolution, same time sociology is developing. Early sociologists are also using evolution theory or not? Auguste Comte, theological, metaphysical, scientific. Therefore, sociologists are using evolutionary theory. Anthropologists are also using evolutionary theory. And anthropology is not dying for scientific status, but sociology is very much committed for scientific status. Because anthropology was originating from physical anthropology. Already they are considered as science. But sociology, nobody considers as a science. Therefore, early sociologists were adopting evolutionary theory so that people will take them seriously and consider them as a science. Okay? आगे बढ़ो. Around 1910 to 1920, a revolution is taking place in the field of cultural anthropology. ठीक है? सेकेंड वर्ल्ड वॉर कब हुआ? 1948. कब हुआ? 1939. So during Second World War, an interesting development took place. An European came to Australia. Okay? An European mathematician came to Australia to spend some time in Australia. It was a holiday break for him. Then World War broke out. And he could not go back to his own country. And he lived in the remote areas of Australia where the tribes are living. And lived with them for 2-3 years. And in the whole process of living with them, he learned their language, ate their food, became a part of them, participated in their rituals. And that was known as serendipity. Serendipity क्या है? Something coming out of accident. After living with them for 3 years, eating their food, taking their name, dancing with them, he became a part of that culture. And he wrote a book on these people. And living with the people, studying them, also not in a face-to-face situation, was known as field study in sociology. And the person was who you know? Malinowski. Okay? He was a mathematician who became primarily anthropologist, and because of accident, he lived with the people for 3 years, and from out of that, he wrote a book on the culture of Australian tribes. And that book became a milestone in the field of cultural anthropology. Spelling लिख देते हैं. Malinowski. मालिनोस्की की इंपोर्टेंट कॉन्सेप्ट बात करता है. बोलता है, don't study the origin of culture, dismissing evolutionary theory. Don't study the diffusion of culture. Useless. किताब का नाम क्या करोगे? आर्गोनॉट्स ऑफ वेस्टर्न पैसिफिक. इतना बड़ा लंबा चौड़ा नाम है, क्या करोगे लेके? So he said, don't study evolution of culture, don't study diffusion of culture, rather you study the function of culture. कल्चर का फंक्शन स्टडी करो. ठीक है? कोई भी कल्चर को देखोगे, इट विल बी हैविंग ए फंक्शनल रोल टू प्ले. ठीक है? You know, when I say functional role of culture, ठीक है, एक तो ये देखो, सपोज इन आवर कल्चर, बिफोर यू स्टार्ट हार्वेस्ट यू परफॉर्म रिचुअल्स. किसको कोई बिहू सेरेमनी बोलते हैं, कोई बैसाखी बोलते हैं, कोई और कुछ बोलते हैं. तो यू परफॉर्म प्राइमरली रिचुअल्स बिफोर यू स्टार्ट योर हार्वेस्ट. रिचुअल, व्हाट इज द फंक्शन ऑफ इट? इसका फंक्शन क्या है? और जो हार्वेस्ट फेस्टिवल होता है, इसका फंक्शन क्या है? हाँ, ये नहीं है, ये नहीं है, कुछ नहीं है. आफ्टर परफॉर्मिंग दिस रिचुअल और फंक्शन, you develop self-confidence. Since we have performed this ritual, this time we are going to get bumper crops. With that confidence, you till the land, sow the seeds, water the plant, organize labor, and ultimately comes good harvest. And you give credit to whom? Rituals. Therefore, year after year, you perform rituals. And when you don't get a good crop, क्या करोगे? क्या सोचोगे? There must have been something wrong taken place with rituals. Next time we should be doing rituals with a lot of devotion and commitment. Therefore, rituals are not wastage of money. Rituals are primarily having psychological roles to play in case of different communities. समझ में आ रहा है कि नहीं आ रहा है? Why rituals at the time of marriage? बोलो. पंडित को बुलाओ, इतना सारे रिचुअल परफॉर्म करो. Why? Through these rituals, you are getting to know that marriage के लिए your ancestors are coming, gods are coming, all of them are sitting in their full public view. Marriage is taking place. काल भाग के नहीं जा सकते हो. Kind of moral pressure. Why are relatives asked? Members of the community given feast. Why are they present? Because marriage is not a personalized affair. It is primarily taking place in the full view of the people alive and people dead and God. Understanding or not? So therefore, sacred character of marriage is not compromised. Marriage is primarily giving rise to a strong bonding. हर चीज में functions है. And when an element of culture is losing its functionality, people abandon it. Like sacred thread is mostly abandoned by younger generation. Because previously sacred thread was the symbol of identity of the Brahmins. कोई टी शर्ट फी शर्ट पहन के नहीं घूम रहा था, सारे पूरा इतना खाली बॉडी में घूम रहे थे, 8 पैक 9 पैक लगा के घूम रहे थे. तो फ्रॉम ए डिस्टेंस यू कैन सी दैट ब्राह्मण इज पुटिंग ए सैक्रेड थ्रेड. पंडित जी नमस्ते. लोअर कास्ट वाज मेंटेनिंग डिस्टेंस. आज का डेट में रोड बिलोंग्स टू एवरीबॉडी. Social distance is not acceptable. So therefore, sacred thread is primarily becoming invisible. Therefore, when a culture is losing its significance, it is bound to disappear. Therefore, look at the importance of what? Culture, functions of culture. To whom? Malinowski. Okay? Saying so, I would indicate that physical anthropology had no connection with sociology. Cultural anthropology had some connection with sociology because they speak about diffusion of culture, evolution of culture. We also speak about evolution of society. Okay? And their analysis of diffusion of culture we also use sometimes in sociology. Therefore, cultural anthropology and sociology are close to each other, but They study only culture or man in a cultural context. We study society and social structure. Anthropology is the study of what? Man. First, they were studying as physical anthropologists, physical feature of man. Then they studied man in a cultural environment. They studied man in cultural environment. We are studying society. And man, a society cannot exist without man. Therefore, somehow, sociology came close to cultural anthropology. But in 1950s, a new branch of anthropology developed, जिसका नाम है सोशियल एंथ्रोपोलॉजी. समझ में आ रहा है कि नहीं आ रहा है? And social anthropology studied the social structure of the primitive societies, tribal societies. They studied the social structure of tribal societies, their economy, their law, their family. समझ में आ रहा है कि नहीं आ रहा है? So they studied social structure of simple societies, tribal societies and peasant societies. We studied social structure of modern societies. Scale of the societies are different. छोटा सोसाइटी वो स्टडी करते हैं, बड़ा सोसाइटी हम स्टडी कर रहे हैं. समझ में आ रहा है कि नहीं आ रहा है? But they study social structure, we study social structure. They are who? Social anthropologists. So therefore, since both are going for structure study, both are studying continuity and change in the structure, social anthropology and sociology came extremely close to each other. ठीक है? So law, education, religion, family, social structure. So everything that they study in the context of simple society, we study that in the context of modern society. Therefore, the founder of social anthropology is A.R. Radcliffe Brown. A.R. Radcliffe Brown. He said that the other name of social anthropology is comparative sociology. Like sociology goes for comparison between two societies, comparison between two structures, and social anthropology also goes for that. Therefore, other name of social anthropology is comparative sociology. And both go for scientific explanation of society or scientific study of society. ठीक है? Other name of social anthropology is what? Comparative sociology. Both are going for scientific analysis of the study of social structure. ठीक है? So therefore, anthropology started from where to what? Physical structure of man, man in cultural context, now man in small society, tribal society. And when social anthropology developed, sociology and social anthropology became extremely close to each other. In the context of India, you know, G.S. Ghure was trained by whom? W.S.R. Rivers. And M.N. Srinivas was a student of A.R. Radcliffe Brown. And both were the founders of sociology. When A.R. Radcliffe Brown student Srinivas came to India, he conducted village studies. Like anthropologist, he lived with the villagers for 2 years. Village is a small community or not? So sociology started living in villages, studied small community, looked into family, kinship, religion of the people in the villages. Therefore, by training their sociologist, methodology they are using of anthropology, therefore they call themselves as social anthropologists. Therefore, in the context of India, sociology and anthropology are not considered as greatly different. because we study small community, we go for field study, we go for participant observation, we study structure of small society the way social anthropologists do. Only difference is they study Bantu, they study primarily newer African tribes study करते हैं छोटा छोटा tribe, but we study villages. Therefore, in the context of India, anthropology, social anthropology and sociology are not greatly different. ठीक है, समझ में आ रहा है कि नहीं आ रहा है? So nowadays you find out anthropologists of India are studying slum, urban problems. Sociologists of India are studying tribal societies, village communities, rural development. Therefore, they are entering into our domain. We are entering into our domain. So therefore, it is very difficult to tell in the context of India who is a sociologist and who is an anthropologist. इसीलिए Professor Bete tells, in the context of India, he is a sociologist who calls himself a sociologist. And the other is anthropologist because he calls himself as an anthropologist. Therefore, anthropology, social anthropology and sociology share large body of similarity in terms of methodology, in terms of content, in terms of approach. समझ में आ रहा है कि नहीं आ रहा है? But in case of America, those who study their own society call them as sociologists. Those who study other societies, other means Africa, India, Latin America, they are called as anthropologists. समझ में आ रहा है कि नहीं आ रहा है? So therefore, sociology and anthropology are sharing a strong bondage with each other, and that bondage is recognized in terms of common theories, common methods, common approach, and common subject matter. ये हो गया सोशियोलॉजी एंड सोशल एंथ्रोपोलॉजी. ये चैप्टर का लास्ट क्लास तुम करोगे कल, एंड दैट विल बी कॉमन सेंस एंड सोशियोलॉजी. इसके बाद आई विल बी गिविंग यू लॉट ऑफ टाइम टू आस्क मी क्वेश्चंस, देन आई विल बी गिविंग यू क्वेश्चन टू राइट द आंसर. ठीक है, कल तुमको क्वेश्चन मिलेगा, आंसर लेके पोर्टल में डालोगे. कल सारे क्वेश्चन अपना अपना तैयारी करके आना, जिसको जो क्वेश्चन पूछना है कल पूछ लेना. 1 घंटा में लेक्चर खत्म हो जाएगा. आई विल गिविंग यू फुल 1 hour to ask me questions and clarify your doubts. फंक्शनल थ्योरी ऑफ कल्चर, मालिन उसका थ्योरी का नाम है फंक्शनल थ्योरी ऑफ कल्चर. कल मैं बताऊंगा संडे का क्लास है कि नहीं है. ठीक है, हाँ चलो.